Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Mauritius, Your Excellency, former President of the Republic of Mauritius, Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Aligarhians and well-wishers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a very great pleasure and a privilege for me as Chairman of the Aligarh Muslim University Alumni Association to welcome you all and to thank you for having accepted our invitation to this function, which we Aligarhians call the Sir Syed Dinner, or the Sir Syed Day. As you may know, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the founder patron of the Aligarh Muslim University. He was born in 1817 and passed away in 1898. Traditionally, events celebrated at the Aligarh Muslim University always start with the University Tarana. So we will keep the tradition and start today's program also with the Tarana. Ye mera chaman hai, mera chaman, main apni chaman ka bulbul hoon. These are the two lines which start this Tarana Aligarh, which in fact was written, I remind you, by one Asrarul Haq Majaz, very famous poet, Aligarhian, who graduated from ANU in 1936 and who wrote this Tarana. It would seem in one night. Of course there are several anecdotes attached to it, but it would seem that he wrote it in one night and gifted it to his alma mater, the Aligarh Muslim University. Asrarul Haq Majaz himself went on to become a very famous poet, and of course in his family also. He is in fact the uncle of Javed Akhtar, famous Bollywood personality, poet and creator in his own right, and several other poets in the family. The Tarana-e-Aligarh will be sung today by the wonderful artists of the Indira Gandhi Center for Indian Culture, whom I have the pleasure to call on stage now.
ये शहर तरफ रूमानों का ये खुल
Fabulous. And for us Aligarhians, really heart-rending. You've really filled our heart with a lot of happiness. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Aligarh Muslim University Alumni Association of Mauritius is a very modest organization, non-political, non-profit making, which started several years ago as an association of friends meeting now and then for dinner, informal meetings. But we all had one thing in common: the alma mater, the love of the university from where we had all studied and where we had at different points in our life obtained our qualifications. And more than qualifications, where we had done so many things. The university days are the best days in the life of any individual. We all know that. Well, when we were all more or less settled, in our professional careers, thanks to the formation we had obtained at the university, we all felt the call of the founder father, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who had infused in us the mission, and I quote, to preach the gospel on the shoulders of every graduate from Aligarh Muslim University. So we formalized this association, and now we organize social, cultural, educational activities, especially for the youth. We have also established very good links with the university, and this allows us to help young Mauritians seeking admission at the AMU. This year only we have facilitated the admission process of at least 8 young Mauritians. We are also engaged in charitable activities of some AMU alumni in Aligarh itself, when we discovered that one AMU alumni was doing an excellent work in an institution called the Aligarh Bachon Ka Ghar. We decided to participate, and we do that very regularly now. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the High Commission of India has always supported our activities, and I'm happy to put on record the very high level of commitment we have enjoyed from His Excellency Sri Anup Kumar Bhujbal, who I should say, since he has come, has always encouraged us in our attempt to retain and strengthen our links with our alma mater. It is thanks to his intervention that we have been able to invite a guest speaker from Aligarh Muslim University in the person of Dr. Mohibul Haque here present to deliver a memorial lecture on
Your Excellency, Madam President, former President Sir, my colleagues from Diplomatic Corps, dear friends, the whole hall is full of friends. So I can really start counting from the first row and go to the last. And I think everyone I have the pleasure and honor of knowing, and with everyone, the friendship I have the honor of enjoying. I thought today I will, rather than speaking, I would listen to the presentation from one of our very young Aligarhians who has joined us from India. Because in fact, I count myself amongst the generation which has seen its time and is on its way to winding up. We can always talk of the glory we have gone through, but it will be absolutely appropriate to listen to the younger generation. If they carry forward that mission, I think we'll consider the mission successful. And I'm sure we shall consider the mission successful. Once again, we are going to recall, we are going to remember one of the brightest of the stars the land called subcontinent of India produced. He was one of those who really had seen many sides of life, many sides of society, all sides of management, the opulence, the struggle, the difficulties, and the misery, all of that. And therefore he understood all the ends of a society's challenges, needs, opportunities, past and future. In fact, we are going to have 200 years of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 2017, which means we are talking about a history of close to 200 years. In fact, more you read about him, deeper he takes you into his understanding of the society's problems. In fact, he was born in nobility, in fact, but then he witnessed that the society at large had many difficulties. He also worked for the East India Company Civil Services. So he knew the nobility, he knew the civil services of the colonial power, and he also knew those who were at the receiving end, which means the common people in the street. And finally, his heart went out to those common people of whom we are the successors. And we are so thankful that leaders like him thought of us, the common people in the street, our ancestors. And today where we are, I think we need to thank leaders like him. He was a visionary who could not only visualize what the society required, but could also articulate it and had the courage of putting that vision to practice. He understood right in the beginning that in case the society has to progress, education was absolutely an essential pillar. He knew that without education, we will not be able to face the challenges of future. And he also understood that when he talked about modern education, technology, scientific temper, he knew that India was also a land of tradition, a deep-rooted tradition which had to go hand in hand with the modern thinking. Who better than him? Because he was the master of both. He was a master of the tradition and he was the master of the modern thought process. And the way he combined two, I think, was exemplary. I'm sure if he did not master both the sides of the story, it would not have been easy to carry the message to the ordinary people, in fact. And what he started with a university, which started as a smaller school that turned into or evolved into a full-fledged university which is amongst the best in India, in fact, or rather I would say amongst the best in the world. They are dealing with teaching and preparing the generations to come in the cutting edge of everything, where the tradition and technology walk hand in hand, where both are complementary to each other and not a challenge to each other. And for that vision to flourish and develop, I think we required, and we are very proud and happy that we had a leader like him. I think beyond this, I will leave to my dear colleague who has come all the way from India to develop this thought. In fact, India is a land of pluralism. India is a land of diversity. And India is a land of free thinking and individual thinking. India is a land of opportunities. And that is thanks to leaders like him and many more. Today, we are a pluralistic democracy where each one of us enjoy the right to have a vision, have a dream, and have the opportunities and possibility of converting that dream